G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in up on the west side of the map, we've got Salami. He is playing the Deli as he loves to do, and he is going to be going up against one of the best players in the world right now. It is Demuslim, and he is playing the Holy Roman Empire. So, I'm looking forward to this game, and I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. We are in the brand new patch. There have been a number of changes that have affected these two civilizations in particular. The biggest one for the Holy Roman Empire is this bad boy right here. For anybody who remembers before the patch what it used to be like, and if you've ever played the Civ, you probably would. This little guy, if you nudged him, so if you if you got your villager and you walked up to him, he would stop doing this. You see how he's got his hands out and he's like, he's telling everybody about God? He would stop telling people about God. And just because someone pushed into him, they fixed that. So that's fixed. He now will buff up all of his villagers around him. So it's great to see that has been fixed up. And the other bug that is going to be fixed up for both of these two civilizations is the spearman bug. So you might be unfamiliar with that. So essentially, every spear has the ability, or should have the ability, to brace. That means that it sort of gets down on one knee against the cavalry charges, puts the spear out, and you hear this beautiful sound. It's like that kind of sound. And these two civilizations didn't actually have that ability. Actually, I think it might have been, it was the Deli. The Deli and the HRE. So they both didn't have that ability. They both now do have that ability. So those are some great bug fixes, but they're also balance fixes as well, because they do contribute to balance. But speaking of balance, these two civilizations, I would say at the moment, the Holy Roman Empire, probably one of the lower civilizations, but on a map like this, which is Mountain Pass, they are one of the better civilizations, in my opinion. Just simply because it is a lot more of a linear map. It's a lot easier to control the narrative with regard to the fights. Easy to wall up these choke points. These choke points are quite small, and you're able to achieve what you want to do. So you're able to gather up the relics. You're able to gather up all of those hunts, and do so relatively safely, and then try and head up towards that Imperial Age. It's very important. Demuslim does actually have 3 relics on his side, so he's going to be happy with that, compared to Salami, who's only got the 2 relics on his side. So sometimes it can be a bit RNG. I've seen posts on this map in particular on Reddit where people will get 5 relics on their side. So fortunately, it's not one of those games. But Salami opening up with the double scout opening. You can see he's picked up plenty of sheep in the early game here. He's very happy with himself. Going to be dropping down the mosque. A little bit of a delayed mosque. He's got villagers on wood, villagers on food and gold as well. Looking to age up and drop down. Probably going to be going for a Dome of the Faith. No real surprises at all. We'll have a look and see. There it goes. Dome of the Faith coming in behind the town center. And with this mosque, you can expect him to be looking to pick up Sanctity probably as soon as he ages up. One of the more recent changes for the Deli is that Sanctity, which is one of their most important technologies, actually had the reduction or actually have the time it takes to research reduced. So it used to be, I think it was 6 minutes or 5 minutes. Now it's down to 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Yeah, it used to be, I think it was 4 or 5 minutes. But now it is down to 3:30, and obviously there's a scholar in there, so it's going to be reducing the time it takes down there as well. It's a really strong technology because it's going to mean that he can get out on the map, look to capture up these sacred sites early in the game, before his opponent is able to gather them up as well. So it'll be in the second age. So it is it's quite a nice timing that he's got there. So he's going to be very happy to be going into that. He's not actually researching anything at the moment. One of the things to note is that with the Deli, you can begin researching efficient production. And let's say once you age up, you want to start researching Sanctity. You can cancel that, research Sanctity, and it will still keep that in progress. So it'll say, let's say it's halfway, it will stay there, and then when you come back and research, you only have to go halfway. But age up now about to come through from Salami. We can see the tower hitting off towards that wolf that got dropped in. I suspect that wolf got dropped in. I don't even know where that wolf came from. Must have roamed over this way. Salami about to age up, probably about to get Sanctity researched as well. There we go. So now you see he's gone Sanctity and then researched efficient production. So doing a pretty good opening so far. Scouting out his opponent, seeing what he's up to. Spots out the Archon Chapel here from Salami. So from here, I guess the question is, where do we see Salami go? He's gone with a couple of scholars. Now, keep in mind, Dome of the Faith going to reduce the cost down on those scholars from 150 all the way down to 75. So a nice reduction there, 50%, not too bad at all. but I'm curious to see where he goes from here. So instead of not going for professional scouts, which is something that could be very viable, and I'll just point this out right now, 3 minutes on professional scouts actually isn't that bad. It's about double what a normal Civ gets, and you get it for free. So if you can age up super fast, like that, maybe that's a potential strategy. I wonder if that's a direction that we'll see the Delhi go. But who knows? Instead, he's going to be looking to grab horticulture. Now, Delhi, in my opinion, I mentioned earlier about the Holy Roman Empire being a civilization that's probably a little bit lower towards the bottom tier, good on these sort of closed maps. Delhi, on the other hand, in my opinion, are going to become top tier. I wouldn't be surprised to see these guys jump up. Look, I don't think they're going to be on the same level that the Mongols will be, where they're just kings of all the maps, but I still think that they're going to be quite strong on pretty much every map. I do suspect that we're going to see Delhi popping up a lot in tournaments as one of those first, second or third round picks. But we'll have to wait. We'll have to see. Just because of these changes, I mean, you've got things like, mining camp coming in for free. He's got the double broadaxe coming in for free. He's got horticulture coming in for free. These are absolutely huge. These buildings, you make these automatically. Like when you think about how much these cost, let's just take a look over from DeMuslim's perspective. This is 250 resources to research. This is 250 resources to research, and this is 250 resources to research. He's getting 750 resources for free. Now, of course, it takes longer to do that. If we take a look here, this is 1 minute and 15 seconds. Compared that over to Salami, whose takes, is it 3 minutes and 5 seconds? Yeah, 3 minutes and 5 seconds. So it's going to take almost 3 times as long, but at the end of the day, it's for free. That's a pretty good deal, man. That is a pretty darn good deal. Salami now walling up the center. His opponent, DeMuslim, on the other side, also going to be walling up his little choke point up towards the north. Players trading out on their scouts a little bit. Salami not paying enough attention. Losing a lot of health on his scout, but he's going to be moving it back into support with his second scout and dropping down a gate as well so he can get that scout back through. On the other side here, we've got DeMuslim, who is thinking about heading towards the castle edge. You can see he's got not a lot of resources to go before he ages up. He's out on this hunt as well. No professional scouts needed for him. Quite a closed-off map. He's not concerned about Delhi stealing his hunts as well. And that's always a consideration when you're thinking about professional scouts. Is what's my enemy going to do? If I'm going up against the Rus, they're probably going to take my hunts. So I want to be taking hunts quickly. I want to be securing them. I want to make sure that they're in a safe position. Whereas in this situation, he's going up against the Delhi. The Delhi, more of a passive civ, less to think about on that front. So it makes it very easy for him. Now that Regnit's going to go down, coming down a little bit I would say it's definitely not in a safe position, in an exposed position down here. And obviously close to the sacred sites, but very close to these two relics. And these are going to be his primary relics. You can see he's scouted them out both now. Manages to just spot that one. He's going to be so happy that he saw that. So hadn't seen that up until then. But obviously knew that that one was there. Now he does know about this relic up towards the north as well. So he's going to be very happy that he's got 3 on his side. Double barracks is out for him. So we can expect to see an infantry-based composition. Blacksmith also coming out for him. So undoubtedly we'll see those upgrades coming through. But having a look over at Salami's side, he's decided to go for a Vast Castle as well. And I got to say, I love this build order. I think this is such a smart move. He's just played it very simple, but at the same time, it's very smart behind this, going for all of the research. You can see he got that wheelbarrow in age 1, and now behind this, obviously going to be able to get the horticulture, potentially losing out some villages here. Got to be careful. Going to be dropping down the House of Learning, and the House of Learning, the unique landmark for the Delhi, going to provide him 4 unique technologies. Scholar. Oh no. Scholar. Oh no. The first kill of the game, I suspect. Gonna be losing that Scholar, and I tell you what, that hurts a lot. This is beautiful timing coming out right now from DeMuslim. He's managed to time that quite well because we actually saw Salami coming out here with a couple of these Scholars, and it looks like the Prelate is able to actually secure it up. So very, very cheeky from Salami. He knows exactly what he needs to do. You can see that he did manage to age up with the House of Learning extra fast. He put a lot of villagers on that. Tried to get his Scholars out here as quickly as possible. Didn't manage to secure up these relics. And as a result, it means that his opponent, DeMuslim, now has 2 relics in the bag. And he is a very happy camper. Up towards the north, he's got this third Prelate and third relic. And the Prelate is up on the way. So he's going to be able to head into maximum gear at this point. But now it looks like DeMuslim going to continue kiting and continue fighting against this Scholar. Going to be able to take it down. Now, not too much of a worry there for Salami. You got to think about it from his perspective, okay? He has not only has he paid half price for these Scholars, but he was being a bit aggressive. He knew he wanted to deny the relics from his opponent, it wasn't particularly important, but it was a decision that he was sort of looking to, or it was something he was hoping to achieve. But let's take a look and see what else he's got going on behind this. So we've got fertilization coming in. Look how long it takes. 5 minutes and 30 seconds. This is so amazing. To think that he's getting these upgrades. These are expensive upgrades that are coming in. Lumber preservation coming in here as well. No acid distillation just yet, but these are expensive. Really, really expensive technologies that are coming in. So if he can just play this pretty standard, he's got a great window of potential action for him to sort of be here. I would say that he peaks a little bit earlier, or rather a little bit later than the Holy Roman Empire, because from this point right now, Holy Roman Empire can just put the foot or the pedal to the metal at this point. Able to get all those men-at-arms out. I wouldn't be surprised if we watched the Muslim just putting down, 5 or 6 barracks, but my suspicion is that he's probably going to be looking to go fast Imperial. It is a very safe build order. There's little that the Delhi can do to punish you. Even though he is only going a 1 TC, I feel like there's not a lot that the Delhi can actually do to punish you. So we'll have to see how he plays it out, whether he looks to go up for that second, looks to go up to Imperial Age, or whether he looks to just play it in Castle Age behind this. We've got the Honed Blades coming in. Now, I do apologize, there's actually 5 unique techs in here, not 4. I was failing to remember the Hearty Rations tech, which is available in the Imperial Age. Looks like we do have the gates or the walls going down now. One of the things to note is that your infantry, as the Delhi, can actually build your palisade walls, but they can't repair them. So instead of actually, rebuild or repairing them up, he just deletes the wall, rebuilds it, rebuilds the gate. Sure, it costs a little bit of wood to do it, but it's much easier that way. You don't have to bring the villagers out to do it for you. So it makes a lot of sense. Both players capturing their respective sacred sites. We've got the 3 relics in the Regnitz for the Muslim. He's very happy with himself at this point in time, looking sort of towards that Imperial, but at the same time, not a lot of food stacked up there, beginning to transition over towards farms as well. I'm curious to see whether he's considered coming up here. It doesn't look like it. So that is always a possibility. He's got the boar down here as well. But we'll have to pay attention to see how he goes with that. But having a look between these two, so we've got the Muslims men-at-arms, which are better against other men-at-arms. So they've got that +6 damage against heavy units, whereas the men-at-arms from Salami are going to have, I think it's just a +4 base damage, a +3 base damage. So that'll be +3 damage against everything. So who would you rather be? I think it's a tough call, to be honest. I'd probably rather be the Delhi, but you are going to lose out in those men-at-arm versus men-at-arm fights. Even if it is only a couple of damage, it does begin to add up quite seriously once you get into these fights. And once you start hitting each other for quite a while. But now it looks like the sacred site down towards the south is going to get contested. Not going to get neutralized, though. But Salami definitely trying his best to hold on. Not going to be successful here, and the Muslim demonstrating why he is considered to be, well, not just considered to be, but is one of the best players in the world, and really just working out, on the timing of these units coming out, a pretty smart move. I'm curious to see what kind of infrastructure he's got. We do have the 5 barracks coming down here. Actually going to be going for Landsknecht in here as well. I am absolutely loving this. This makes a lot of sense. So you might be wondering, okay, what's the deal with the Landsknecht? And apologies once again to all my German friends who I'm embarrassing right now. I apologize. So just when you thought that men-at-arms were going to be sufficient in dealing with the men-at-arms of his opponent, I think it was Day 9 who said, when you are ahead, get further ahead. And it's that same concept. If your men-at-arms are going to beat his men-at-arms, sure, you can make men-at-arms, but what if I told you you could make Landsknecht as well, which will absolutely rip through them? And that's exactly what they would do. So these guys have got AoE like crazy. So I'm looking forward to seeing how effective these guys can be once they get out onto the battlefield. But the fact that there's no real ranged units here other than the Tower War Elephant that are going to be able to pick off these units, it makes it a very smart move to actually be going into this build order. But more walls now going to be coming out for Salami. We'll check in with him and see how he's doing. Obviously still doing all his research. You can see he's up to tier 2 on absolutely everything. He's got deforestation in. Still yet to get the specialized pick, or rather the acid distillation. So a little bit of a fail there from Salami. This is obviously for free. So he would have 8 villages that were gathering 15% faster. Yeah, something that he hasn't looked to do. Probably something that he's just forgotten about, and that can happen. And Salami is a Delhi main. So if it can happen to him, a man with, I think he's probably got close to 1,000 Delhi games under his belt, it can happen to anybody. But I like the way that he is using the infantry to wall up. He's got just 4 men-at-arms out here, just walling up slowly. He's getting attacked by a wolf. He's managed to deal with it. But I like the way that he's walling up and just preventing his enemy from gathering these berries. Now towards the front, it looks like we've actually got some crossbows beginning to come out for Salami, and it makes a lot of sense. We'll take a look over at Damuslim, see how he's doing. Still no sign yet at this stage that he's going up to Imperial. So just looking to stick it out in the third age. And I got to say, aren't these some of the most beautiful farms you've ever seen? This is just, around the Arkan Chapel in particular, this is what makes it so awesome, is because this guy is buffing up every single one of the villages that are inside this area of effect. So you've got 27 villages that are in here. Also, just outside, you've got the prelate that is looking to buff these guys up. Not having a whole lot of luck, though, because there are a lot of villages in there. But now it looks like we've got a push coming out for Damuslim, a much greater military force, just to compare these two. 49 and 46 versus 47 and 43. So it is actually quite even when it comes to population, but I feel like Damuslim's forces are much greater than the Delhi's. We've probably got to consider the fact that there is also the possibility of scholars contributing to that, but now overwhelming numbers right now for Damuslim as he looks to take on his Delhi opponent. There's a few Tower War elephants out here. One of them does get surrounded, unfortunately. He's going to be going down. Plenty of infantry coming out for Damuslim. But, and now it really seems like Salami getting pushed back, and he is in a very difficult spot. A forward siege workshop coming out. I don't know whether that's going to be the right decision. Obviously, mangonels would definitely help in this position, but this is a very questionable location for that siege workshop. It is not long for this world, unfortunately. So Salami definitely having to fall back there. So if we take a look at how many scholars are out right now, I see 1, 2, 3 scholars. 1, 2, 3, so that's 6 scholars out. I see at least 9 scholars out, so that's 10. Yeah, you've got 9 scholars that are out right now for the Delhi, which are contributing to that mass, or to that perceived military score. So not the case. But now it looks like this wall going to be going down very, very quickly. Unfortunately for the Delhi player, these palisade walls don't have a lot of health on them, but we can actually see some nice little quick walls coming in behind this from Salami. He's looking to try and get them up, and he does manage to do it in time. Gonna lose a couple units there. Unfortunately, it looks like there was a gap in the wall. There's just a tiny little gap, and it looks like Damuslim's gonna find his way through. Oh, this is absolutely terrible for him, because if he was able to get this up, he's able to hold on a little bit longer, able to get that mangonel out potentially, and able to hold this off. But now that he's behind this wall, it makes the situation so much more difficult for him. This mangonel's going to come out. It's going to get some shots off, but at the end of the day, these units are just going to be able to run directly towards it. Gets a pretty decent shot off there. Looks like it hit about 6 or 7 units. Going to turn its attention towards the front line as well. Probably not the best decision, but does manage to take out 1 men-at-arm, 1 Lench-Connect. Wallalol's coming in. The Wallalol's coming in. Here they go. We're zooming in on it. Let's see how many they get. They're going to get a huge amount. This is a complete turnaround. Salami taking out all of the enemy units. Damuslim losing his entire base entire force right there. That is some beautiful Delhi Wallalol play right there. And really what comes into it, you might not be thinking much about it, but it comes back to those free Delhi techs. These guys, not only do they have their free techs, but they have things that increase the health points of your scholars. So instead of this scholar having 75 health or 70 health, it's got 130. Extra health means it survives. It's got 4 health on it left. If this had been any other religious unit, it would have gone down. I mean, with the exception of maybe the Rus religious units, that's about it. But he's just donated over that entire army to his opponent. Unfortunately for him, you can see that he did make the decision to commit. He said, "I am going to attempt to commit and try and kill these these scholars." But unfortunately for him, the scholars were too strong. But now Damuslim going up to the Imperial Age. Where is he going? There we are, the Palace of Swabia going up for him. But now he is under significant threat. We mentioned earlier in the game that by having this Regnitz Cathedral in a spot down towards this position, that sure, technically he was closer to the relics, but at the same time, he was a little bit more susceptible to potential damage. And we've got a raid up on the Palace of Swabia before it goes down. Salami doing a great job of managing to get through these walls up here to the north, or potentially heading through a gate, but at the same time, a fight on the front. Mangonels on the back line do manage to stay alive, and Salami somehow manages to keep this force alive and turn the tables. on this this Holy Roman Empire player. And now that Regnitz, if that Regnitz goes down, that's 900 gold a minute that is going to be potentially lost there from Demuslim. In addition to that, he's also potentially going to be losing the relics. I wouldn't be surprised. There we do. We actually see 3 scholars brought up in anticipation to capture those relics. This is huge from Salami. Such a big brain move from him. This Regnitz goes down. 1, 2, 3 relics there. Salami picks up the first one. He's going to bring these 2 scholars forward, pick up the other 2 that are here as well. There they go. There's the first one. And now Demuslim reaches the Imperial Age, but he has got a lot of problems to worry about right now because all 3 of those relics have been picked up. Whether he wants to keep them here and look to potentially walla-lol his opponent once again, or whether he wants to take those back to his base and capture that 300 gold a minute. But very unfortunate for Demuslim. The tides have turned against him at this point in time. Mangonel shots coming down on those farms. That's a lot of wood that's going to be going to waste, and we can see up towards the north now that Demuslim continues to mass up these units. He's having a tough time as he's losing parts of his economy. The gold income has basically gone down to 0 at this point. You can see it sits at plus 442, but the truth is it's not really that high. That probably goes over to the relics before he lost them. Having to evacuate all of the farms now, so losing huge amounts, losing more than 1,000 resources of wood right there just in those farms. Elite upgrade on the front barracks. No, Demuslim. He's got 5 seconds left on it. I don't think it's going to come out in time. It does go down. He needed to do it up in one of these back barracks. This is huge. That is such a... It might not seem like a big deal, but I swear it is such a massive thing. It is such a big deal that was not the elite upgrade coming through. Now these are just normal veteran men-at-arms. They are not... Oh, gosh. Wallalo comes off. He's going for a stab. It looks like he's going to be able to get the first one off. Second one comes in. Third one, it looks like a pretty decent capture circle, but doesn't manage to get those ones off. Picks up the relic of his brethren that died earlier, manages to take that out, and you can see him just holding onto these relics and really forcing his opponent to stay back for this point in time. Villagers also going to get pulled at this time. We'll enter into the cinematic mode as we begin to watch the battle between these 2 players take out the 3 relics that are here. They cannot be used, at least for the next 120 seconds, while they wait to recharge. And now it looks like he might be donating one over. Got to be careful there. The villagers moving forward, managing to get on the back line. It looks like they're going to be able to take out the Mangonels. The second Mangonel does go down. Third Mangonel looking like it's probably going to go down. Keep in mind, he's got the Palace of Swabia behind this. He's okay to lose these villagers and does somehow manage to clean up the majority of the forces that are on this front line. And Demuslim has got a huge lead now. He's reached the Imperial Age. Sure, he's lost his relics. Sure, he's lost his Regnitz, but he has the Imperial Age Palace of Swabia, which is going to carry his economy significantly. Currently, he sits on 49 villages, but you watch how fast this goes up. This is going to go up incredibly quickly. Each one of these villages, 12 food. Each one takes 5 seconds to build. These bad boys, they do not take long at all to come out, and that's going to overflow incredibly quickly. Demuslim going to be in a great position. Slowly, this Mangonel is working on taking down this Regnitz again, but not going to have a lot of luck as the Lenschknecht, together with the men-at-arms, are going to be able to chase them away. And now towards the north, those walls do indeed continue to stand. Blacksmith technology, just the +2s that have come through so far. No ranged attack on that one. And behind this, we can see that Salami currently sits on 61 villages. Now, he's got the 3... How many scholars does he have in total? Looks like he's got 3, 6, 7 scholars that are back here. He was bringing back these relics. There we go. There's 3 more, so 10 scholars in total. So sitting on about 62 plus 10, and then compare that to his opponent, who sits on 54. But keep in mind, he is going to be able to get up very, very quickly with this Palace of Swabia. It is the equivalent of 4 town centers. So basically, he's doing a 5 TC boom at the moment because the main town center should be working as well, but it's not. There's a prelate idling inside with the men-at-arms, but now it looks like on the front line, a little bit of a skirmish going to be happening. He's got to be careful. Even though he is ahead by about 2,000 points, he still teeters right on the edge, and you've got to be so careful in this situation. If your opponent manages to outmass you, you could be dead. So it's really important that you just play it slow. You've got the advantage. You're in Imperial. You just keep making your villages. You keep making your men-at-arms. Don't push out too crazily. And basically set yourself up for a nice flank. That's the best thing you can do. If I was Demuslim, I'd actually be looking to try and take control of this area where Salami is taking control of very effectively and try and look for that flank from the south like this. But it's going to be difficult for him to do that because those walls are coming up. Sacred Site also going to get neutralized here. I would expect that we probably have got a scholar that's going to be coming out shortly towards this Sacred Site. Indeed we do. Looks like we've got a It looks like we've got quite a few scholars on our hands, ladies and gentlemen, all carrying relics, all looking very intent on spelling the end for Demuslim. He's going to have to be careful here. The 3 mangonels also out, and oh, this is not looking good. Mill was up towards the north, so he did manage to exhaust this deer hunt. This hunt of deer, but now slowly going to be rebuilding up these mills. He did lose these mills before, and so it's very bold of him to be putting them on the front line, but obviously next to the Archon Chapel, next to the pre-existing mill, it makes a lot of sense, and look at these relics sitting there, floating there in the edge. They've even got their little shadows there, yeah, this is going to be very concerning, and slowly but steadily, Salami continues walling up, and moving and just taking space away from his opponent up towards the north. It looks like the Landsknecht are going to be able to break through with the men-at-arms. From here, what I would really love to see out of Demuslim is, unironically, I would love to see some Springalds. Springalds are quite effective at taking out the Scholars. You'd probably need about 4 or 5 of them to be able to effectively take them out, but just sniping them from a distance, using them to snipe the mangonels as well, it would be very, very helpful, because right now Demuslim does spot all of these relics sitting on the front line. He knows they are not inside the mosques. He knows that they are on the front line, potentially for the taking, but also that they represent a massive threat when it comes to the potential Wololo. But now Demuslim, got to be a bit careful here. He does look like he's coming around for a flank. You can see him working around the back here. He knows that his opponent is here, but at the same time, I don't think he's aware of the fact that there's walls that have just been placed down continually, and he's going to have trouble going through that because he's got mangonels, and you can now see the new walls coming up. How lame is this strategy right now? Salami really taking it to the next level of lameness. This is just wall, mangonel, wall, relic, wall. Oh no, don't do it, Salami. No, Salami, please don't do it like this. No, not like this, Salami. The ultimate BM move. He's going to take all the villages. It's absolutely terrible damage. No, not like this. Demuslim loses them. He loses all the villagers going over to his opponent. 28 villagers. The only thing he could have done in that situation was delete them. That was the only thing he could have done, but then you're just losing 28 villagers. All of the villagers now begin sieging down the barracks. A bombard going to be coming out for Demuslim, looking to finally put down some hurt onto his enemy, but is it too little too late? He's just lost 28 villagers at this point. He was sitting on 90 villagers before that. He just yoinked 28 villagers. That is ludicrous, but now men-at-arms coming in from the south. Demuslim looking to clean up his own villagers. You can see he's murdering his own people. It's not the first... Oh my lord, I can't believe I just said that. Drongo, be careful. But now the bombard going to be going down. Oh, that was close. We almost got cancelled just then. But now the villagers going to be heading out once again to the gold vein. This is an absolutely ludicrous game at this point in time. Oh my lord. Now, one of the things to note is he is on this forward gold mine. He has access to these back ones. These are a lot safer. And after you just got Wololo'd, I feel like sending 20... You're sending 26 villagers out to the forward gold mine. Demuslim, do you not remember what just happened, mate? You're crazy, mate. You're absolutely... Oh, you're blimey, mate. You're having a laugh, yeah? But I would advise Demuslim, hey man, you got a very safe gold mine back here. Can we move it back there, please, fella? But now Demuslim slowly but steadily getting walled in. And you can see Salami doing a great job there of continuing to expand those walls. He's up to 89 villagers right now, and no surprise there after taking 28 off his enemy. You can see 17 of them still remain quite healthy over here, gathering up gold. Mangonels slowly but steadily pushing in. No need for bombards. He's just got mangonels out the wazoo here. Plenty of mangonels, 4 mangonels, and now adding in more men-at-arms. You see them beginning to push forward, and all of these Demuslim now beginning to push up with 25 elite men-at-arms. So he does have the upgrade, does have the university upgrade as well. The main concern for me is how is he going to get in behind here? So Demuslim, once again... Oh, now he's actually got the emergency repair, so he has remembered to do it. It can be one of those things that's very difficult to remember to do, but emergency repair is going to be coming out. Going to be slowly and steadily healing that up, but it does look like it is going to go down. Losing the Archon Chapel, and Demuslim in a very difficult spot here. Scores definitely not indicating the current situation, I would say. And this is part of the reason why I would say, you know, don't rely on scores. A lot of people will rely on score. Do not do it. I just don't think it is worth it in a situation like this. You can just see that Salami really is able to put you know, he's got 3 nails in the coffin. It looks like he's about to put the 4th one in. He's heading down for round 2. Oh, not like this. No, Muslim, come on. Surely you learnt your lesson the first time. Now the second time, the villagers realize they look like they're starting to make a little bit of a run on the way out. Muslim continuing to be potentially pressured down towards this south ankle as Salami looks to try and do damage down here. He's got plenty of men-at-arms that are chasing him out. Actually, Lanchconnect going to be chasing it out. Well, first Wallalol comes down. Going to be able to repel. There's a couple villagers in here as well. He's going to be careful with him as he chases him around. Quadruple Wallalol going down right now. The Lanchconnects are committing. The villagers are committing. The villagers got to get out of here. Not like this to Muslim. He loses his villagers for the second time in the game, losing a huge amount of villagers. Oh my lord, Salami captures 23 villagers again. Oh my lord, at this point in time, you really just got to be saying, Muslim, have you not learned your lesson yet? Forward gold mines are not to be messed with, mate. Mangonel's getting off beautiful shots on his men-at-arms. He's unable to split them up. At the same time, the Culverin gets chased down by the men-at-arms of his opponent. He's trying his best to stay alive. The villagers continue to siege down the barracks. Salami is an absolute Wallalol god. He is really next level when it comes to this stuff. It is so impressive to watch him in action. It is crazy the way that he manages to get those off. And I think he's actually just taken his relics back. Where are they? Yeah, these relics are back over here. He's letting them recharge. That's all fine. And finally, the Bombardier's going to come out and look to get a bit of damage up on these Mangonels. Does get off that emergency charge and going to be able to slaughter all these villagers here that are being used quite aggressively by Salami. But he's not too fussed because he's got 113 and half of them are from Muslim. So he's not fussed at all. But now slowly working away at this barracks. It looks like he's going to have to retreat. A couple of men-at-arms going to begin running in, as well as those monks with their relics. Not going to be up in time. And it looks like good game gets called. Muslim taps out. He says, you've taken too many villagers. You will never take my freedom. And unfortunately, he has to tap this one out. Fellas, if you've enjoyed this game, I will, of course, leave a link over towards Muslim, over towards Salami. Check them out. They are absolutely insane players. What a game. I will catch you in the next one.